Okay, so let's review the chapter, and then we'll look at your field exercise. Like I said, you guys can hear me and see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So some of this is what you guys will have experienced in your field exercise. Like it says, when we go into the book, let's see. Let me just minimize this here. So we're looking at, certain aspects of, or should I say, how to use tools that are available on the internet, right? And some of you guys did that in your field exercise, which we're going to look at in a few minutes. And the whole purpose of all this is learning the skills, right? Learning skills that an attacker, right, might use to penetrate a system or to get information about an individual, about a company. And if we're aware of these tactics, right, if we're aware of these tactics, then maybe we can be better prepared as professionals on the job. So some of the things that we've discussed or we're discussing right here includes the kind of things that people with ulterior motives will do, right? We talked about, I think, the last class, preparing you for your field exercise, when people go through trash to see what kind of information they can get. In fact, not just, attackers or hackers, or should I say bad people, even law enforcement. If law enforcement is trying to get information about an individual, right, many times law enforcement will grab something that the individual has discarded. So it might be like maybe they're following a suspect. They're not so sure yet. They don't have, all the evidence. But this person, drinks a cup of coffee and throws the cup away. Well, the police can retrieve that cup, trying to look for evidence that ties this person possibly to the crime, right? So it's not just for, should I say, bad people, even law enforcement use, but we're mostly concerned here about the activities of people who are trying to do harm, right? What kind of skills and what kind of methods do they use? So as security people, you don't want to be just discarding, old, like it says here, disk drives or, valuable information into the trash. Always think to yourself, can this information be, taken by somebody else? And if they grab that information, is there anything harmful? Is there any information in there that can be potentially used against me or against my company, right? Against my employer? So a lot of these activities fall under the broad heading of social engineering, okay, and also footprinting. Now, footprinting is what you guys did, where you're searching for information, right? I think if we go to the next page here, there's a term that you might have heard that is called chasing the joint. You're kind of just hanging around trying to see, somebody, is there security around there? You're trying to see, what time do people come in and go out, right? You're trying to get advanced information. For example, a thief that wants to rob a bank, right, has to know the movements because the thief doesn't want any surprises on the day of the action, right? So they want to be sure they have all the information as much as possible, right? Who's the bank manager? They go as far as where does the bank manager live? They're trying to get their information, right? So all that is described as footprinting. And if you've seen movies, then you've been exposed to this kind of activity of criminals, right? Trying to figure out, what does the target look like? Is there parking? What's the front entrance like? Is there an escape from, the back entrance? They look at all that stuff. Also, as security people, we want to be aware of potential attack. Should I say? What's going on? Will the same?
Oh, sorry.
Looks like you need to be muted. Okay, so all this is footprinting, and that is trying to get information, advanced information about a possible target, right? Right here it describes it when you gather information about a company before performing a security test or launching an attack, sometimes referred to as reconnaissance or recon, trying to get information about a potential target. And if you're a security tester, right, you're hired as a security or penetration tester, well, using the black box model, the gray box model, or the white box model, this might be your job to get information about a company, that you've been hired, a job that you've been hired to do. All right. So footprinting, or otherwise known as reconnaissance. I mean, countries do it, in times of war. They try to go in advance. In fact, even on the job, right? As a job applicant, you're trying to get a job, and let's say, I don't know, Microsoft, for example, wants to hire you, and they've scheduled you for an interview. Well, Cindy, what's a good thing to do if there's a potential job? Aren't you going to use some of these skills, with the new employer, possibly before your interview?
Yes.
So if it was in a job setting, what would you be looking for? Okay, I have an interview in 2 weeks or next week, with this company. What are you looking for? And how would you get that information?
I would look for reviews about people who worked there before to see how they feel about it and see if they have any tips on the interview process. You can find that information on Glassdoor. They have a lot
All
of
right.
things like that. And then I would find like history about the company, because sometimes they ask you like, oh, do you like know what we do? Like any specific thing.
Yeah.
So you have to be prepared for those kind of questions.
Yeah, so you're not going to say, I actually don't know what you guys do. I just heard about you the first time when you offered me the job or you invited me for an interview, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be like, that's not good at all. We don't think you would want to work with us. You got to have all that information, right? So this is not just for people trying to do bad stuff, right? Many times, just in life, you're going to want to get advanced information about what you're dealing with, so you're better prepared. Okay. So, like we said, you look about the location. Well, in terms of an attack, well, an attacker is looking for weaknesses, right, in the security systems. Maybe a particular time of the day, everything is kind of like more relaxed. People can come in and go without much security. You're going to look for, an attacker is looking for weaknesses, vulnerabilities in the system, right? Also, what kind of locks and alarms are used. Every once in a while, security people will change their systems. They might change the locks. They might change, how people enter and exit the building. It might be, drills, part of drills. just to disrupt the flow of potential attack. In fact, every time when experts talk about security and the whole topic of, being watchful, sometimes they recommend that because, a lot of people somehow are predictable, right? It's like most of what you do every day is almost the same time you leave the house, the same time you get the coffee, the same, you take the same train, you go up the same flight of stairs to your job or to school. You're predictable. So security experts will tell you that you shouldn't be so predictable, right? Sometimes, it might be shorter for you to go this way to where you've got to go, but they recommend, change your route sometimes, right? Just as a security measure or some kind of tactic, right? Just change the way you go to work, change the way when you go on that walk or when you go on your run, if you like to run and exercise. Well, maybe change it a little bit. Disrupt the flow. Now, this doesn't mean you're going to be paranoid where you're thinking someone's going to grab you at every minute, but as somebody who is security aware, sometimes these are things that you do. Just someone like me, every time I have some kind of information that includes my name or my address or some payment that I make, I like to make sure it's totally destroyed before I put it in the trash. I told you guys before, sometimes I just put water, soak it in water, make sure it's all crumpled, and I throw it in there and it's totally useless. So as a security aware person, there's some moves you've got to make, right? Which might potentially, because you never know. You're never going to know what threats or what attack is going to happen. You're not going to get a letter in the mail. We're going to attack you guys, July 4th. Nobody gives you advance notice. Of course, security people are always trying to find out what is happening, listening to all their communications, but you're never really going to know if something's going to happen. So as a security aware person, you're always being proactive, okay? On the job, personally, with people around you, always being proactive. And like we said, information can be found in so many places, right? Online, you can find, it's like information is out there. You don't find it if you don't look for it, but once you're looking for something, information is out there to use. And in terms of tools, the kind of tools, besides just going online, the kind of software, tools that are available are just incredible, are just incredible. Some of the examples mentioned in the book include network scans. So if you use, you may have used Wireshark before. Well, Wireshark is such a great tool, right? We also have things like Nmap. This is going to be one of your tasks that you have to do. So Nmap basically does a kind of like it scans the network, right, of your target and gives you some basic information which might be helpful, right? It's very intrusive, just by sitting down, at a remote location. If you have the IP address of your target, let me run this and see if this works. I'm not sure what IPs this are. We've done this before, but I'm just going to run it anyway to see. It takes a few seconds to generate anything. But it's pulling something up. So your tools like Nmap will tell you if it successfully connects to that network. It might give you an idea of what kind of systems, what kind of operating systems are used in that network, what kind of hardware devices, maybe a few IP addresses here and there, right? It's going to give you some information. Now, when you're doing footprinting or social engineering, you're looking for some information. You're not going to get all the information in one place, right? You might get a clue. Okay, you get this piece of information and that piece of information, and then you want to marry all that information and take the next step, right? So it's like you're building. It's like building blocks. You get a little bit here, a little bit there, on the way to the attack for an attacker, or if you're a network person, or again, if you're a job applicant going for an interview, you're trying to get information from different sources and put that information together for the job that you're trying to go for. So I just did a scan of this. I'm not even sure what IP address that is, but using a tool like this, if you guys are able to see this at all, it might be so tiny. It's going to give me. It's going to give you an idea of maybe open ports in the network, right? It might tell you, for example, right here. Let's see what we can see here. If I go to host details, all right, host details would give me an idea of what open ports that are available. It might give me an idea of IP addresses, of course. Maybe MAC, well, there's no MAC address available here. It might tell me maybe operating systems. Right here, it tells me there might be Linux in that network. It gives me an idea of the host name. That's the web server that points to Akamai Technologies. So if you dig, you keep digging, you might get some information that might be useful. For example, right here it tells us Linux is probably an operating system in that network. Well, if there is a vulnerability attached to that operating system, then that's a good place to start for an attacker, right? So besides an attacker's job, a network administrator is always checking their own network. What can an attacker see from the outside? It's kind of like when you're at home, right? You lock your doors when you're going to bed, probably lock your window. Well, I don't know if you lock your windows, but you want to be sure that if you have an alarm, the alarm is set up and stuff like that. You take your basic security, measures. You put all that stuff, you turn on all that stuff, right? So tools like this are very effective in poking around into the network you're trying to, get information about. All right, let's keep going here. Let's see some more things we can find here in the book. All right, let's see here. Okay, well, this is very important. So I'm sure we've talked about this before, about penetration testers and just your job in general, your security job. You're always going to find information on the job. In fact, besides security, just as an IT person, right, you're going to get information about your fellow employees just because of your job. Maybe you grab a laptop to go and fix the laptop, and this employee has all this information there. Well, I think we might have said it before. If we haven't, let me bring it up here again. That your job, right, can be compared to the job of a fiduciary. I think that's the right spelling. Fiduciary, right? Let me confirm. That's the right spelling. It is the right spelling. So I'm going to close that and see if you guys have heard of such a big word, like they say. Michael, have you heard this word, and do you know what it means? A fiduciary. Michael, are you there?
Yes, sir. Hello.
All right. Can you hear me? Have you heard of this word before? What does it mean?
I've heard it being used before. It's something about trust.
Something about trust, exactly. Yeah. Trust, confidentiality, things like confidentiality, ITY. Okay, so Michael, when you talk about fiduciaries, what kind of people or what kind of professionals or people in society are regarded as fiduciaries?
Mostly stakeholders. Stakeholders
What
of
do you
a
mean stakeholders?
stakeholders of a company, or like politicians.
Stakeholders of a company?
Yeah,
Politicians?
yeah,
No way.
yeah. But
Absolutely not.
we trust them. That's why we give them a nod to represent us in a higher level. If not a trust,
Okay.
we wouldn't
Okay.
put them in
All
that
right. So let me ask you this question.
Okay.
Based on what you said,
Yeah.
would you compare? It's kind of interesting though, but let me just say. So if we look at a politician
Yeah.
slash, let's say, a doctor, right?
Yep.
Politician. Okay. Who is more in your mind a fiduciary? Who do you trust more? Let me just say that.
Well, we trust
Who do
more
you
that
trust with your information?
who do I trust with my information? Now, mostly the doctor.
If you're the kind of things you tell your doctor about yourself, right?
Yeah.
Or your banker, right?
Yeah.
Your banker about yourself, or at times even a professor, right?
Yeah.
Or you might have a pastor.
Yeah.
The kind of things you tell these people, would you tell that to a politician who is trying to run for governor?
No.
Well, maybe.
No, but let's say I share my secret. Like, you even strip naked for a doctor to see your nakedness. That's a trust.
Yep.
A banker has he knows your money. He knows how much you have. They're all bounded by laws. But the politicians, we give them the nod to represent us and make laws for us, decisions. So in one way or the other, we do trust them, but just that they disappoint us.
Okay, so let's see what the proper meaning or proper definition of fiduciary is.
Okay.
Let's go here. So involving trust, especially with regard to the relationship between a trustee and a beneficiary, right? Now, there's a lot of financial, I guess, implications in that discussion. But what I'm talking about here is, as a security person,
Yep.
for example, you go to do penetration testing.
Yeah.
You are going to find out, just like a doctor knows all your, all your weaknesses, right? Knows you have this condition or that condition, and your banker knows that, you have so many loans, you are in serious trouble. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or your professor might know about your grades, your pastor might know about your life, your marriage, your lawyer, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Very information that can potentially destroy somebody. You know what I'm saying? They hold it in trust as a trustee, that we are trusting you with that information, right? So as a security person, you go into a company to do security testing. Well, you're going to find out, you're going to find out what is good, bad, and ugly about the security of that company. And if you are a bad actor, you can use that information to destroy that company, just because you have that information, right? So in many ways, our mindset, right? Even sometimes, like I said, your fellow employee has a problem with their computer, and you go in there to fix the computer. You might see a lot of their personal stuff there. Your mindset should be one of a fiduciary, right? Like it says in the book right here, you're never supposed to divulge any of that stuff. A doctor is not going to put all the patient's info or patient's problems on Facebook, right? Your lawyer is not going to do that. Your banker is not going to tell everybody how much in debt you are. Your professor is not going to, tell people how stupid you are as a student. People with trust don't do that. Don't say, oh, all my students are dumb. All my patients are all, obese. You don't do stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So this is a very serious matter. People end up in jail for breaking trust, right? People end up in jail for breaking trust. Okay. So And some of these things, I'm sure you'll have found out doing your field research. And of course, right here, we talked about laws. You guys have done some write-up about laws. You've got to absolutely know what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do. Now, this might not be your job. You might have a boss whose job it is. You might just be, that may not be your responsibility at all. But if it is, then you're knowledgeable about it. And even if it's not your job, well, you got to bring value, right? You bring value to your company, right? You bring value to your company with your contributions. Some people, they're on the job and they say, oh, I never get promoted. I need more money on this job. Nobody is, promoting me. Well, what I always say is you're paid what you're paid to do what you do. Well, if you want to be paid more, you've got to do more than you're paid to do, and then maybe you get more, you get paid more. So if you just do exactly what you're paid to do, why should anybody want to pay you more? If you're not adding to your value, you don't have any certifications, you're not going back to school, you're not improving yourself, you're not bringing value to the company, we're going to pay you the same $16 an hour. And we might just pay you that amount of money for the next 10 years, except you significantly are developing yourself, bringing value to the company. So you don't stop learning when you get out of school, like, oh, I'm done with school. No, you're always, just like, your discussions during the week, you're always wanting to educate yourself. That is how you become valuable, maybe the latest tools or the latest ransomware attack. You bring that information to an employer, you become very valuable, very indispensable, really. All right, let's see a few more things here. So, we don't need to go into this, analyzing the company's website. That is stuff that you can use, you can do rather, with a whole lot of tools that are out. I just want to highlight a few more things here. Okay, well, we have said it just right now about having a good understanding of methods and tools, okay, that are used on the job. It might be tools that are related to specific operating systems, right? Whatever it is, you're always being knowledgeable in advance. And some of the tools are things that we see when you're on the Cengage platform and when you do the labs. There's some tools there, some programming tools, some software that you're exposed to, right? For some of the attacks that, an actual attacker might use. And there are a few examples that I mentioned here. There's this website that is mentioned. I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard about it. Wayback, the Wayback Machine. Has anybody heard about the Wayback Machine? This is when you're trying to analyze information about a company's website. So anybody ever heard about the Wayback Machine here?
I think previous manager mentioned that he was like looking something up with it. I think he was looking at how a website was.
Manager on the job?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what it is. Wayback Machine, it will take you to as far back as the company had, as the website was. So for example, UMass Boston, let's do a trial here, right? Actually, I think I have something here already. If you want to see, like way back, what was the website like a long time ago? It's loading. Let's see if we can get anything here. You have to specify the date and the time that you want to check out. So let's see if we can. All right. So what date was this? 2019. Well, we want to go way back. So let's go back here. Let's see. What date is this here? Want to go back quite a few years. Let's see what period this is. Oh, this is 19. I thought that was 1999. Okay, look at that. April 1999. Well, what was the website like? Okay, look at that. So 1999, which is like what? 30 years ago? Is that 30 years ago? Yeah, maybe. I'm mixing up my dates. Well, this is what the website looked like. Say it again?
I think it's 22.
Okay. So now an attacker that is planning to, gather information might go way back using the Wayback Machine to look at the website of UMass Boston and see what they can find from some time ago, right? So, for example, if we go to, let's see, administration. Let's see if administration works. If we click on administration, okay. Now, if you see, you guys, what do you think of the website? All right, look at the website. Wasn't it great? And look at the campus here, right? That's the library, right? So, anyway, but now, how would this be useful? So you go on administrative officers here. Let's see what we can find. Okay, so it gives us some names. Oh, wow. So from the mindset of an attacker, right? For example, if I know that, so right here is I'm just going to be random here. So there's this Edmund Toomey, right? Edmund Toomey was Associate Chancellor, Chief of Staff. So how about I grab that information, maybe I go to Facebook or I go some other site and try to find out who are this guy's friends. Can I find some friends? Can I use that information and say, oh, I know this, Professor Edmund or, whoever Edmund was a personal friend of mine, when we're both at UMass Boston, even if I was never at UMass Boston, right? So the Wayback Machine can be helpful in getting historical information about a website, which you can use, right? Which can be useful in perpetrating an attack, or at least gathering information. So that's what it's referring to here in the book about the different tools. Of course, things like the who is, like the registry, like website registry. If you go to who is, you can find a lot of information about, the administrators of websites. Let's see, who is look up. That's not what I'm looking. Is this what I'm looking for? That's not what I'm looking for. All right, so domain name search. Right, if you use the domain name search, you can literally UMass umb.edu. You can find a lot of information there about the different administrators, and right there you can see that. So if you didn't know this before, now you know that, well, the guys behind the domain and website at UMass Boston is Jamie Soule, right? There's somebody else there, Brian Forbes. You have their email, you have their phone number. So I'm sure that this is kind of stuff you guys did or expected to do as part of your field project, was to look for information that can be potentially useful, right? Using all kinds of tools that we have out there. All right, let's see what else we got here. Yeah, that's what we just talked about now, the Wayback Machine. All right. There are also some, should I say, HTTP basics here, right? I'm not sure how useful some of these are, but basically when you see 400 errors, right? 404, 404 is the most common. It means that the website was not found for some reason, right? This information might be useful to an attacker who feels like, okay, every time I go to that website is down. So I'm going to create a look-alike website and redirect people so people think it's the real thing, right? So information, it depends on the person that is looking at that information. That's how they read it. So information to one person might just look very innocent, just like no problem. But to somebody else, they might see some ways to use that information to meet their own needs, which might be very crooked, actually, right? All right. So some of these errors, you might just want to review them because I think there's a couple of questions in the assignment about a few of these errors. You might see 404, you might see 500. You want to know, if I saw that error, what does it actually describe? Okay, also, this is all part of, let's see. If you've done some kind of programming or web design, then you might have dealt with forms, HTML forms, right? A form has a method of get or post. That is how when you submit a form on the internet and it sends information or you retrieve information, it's using the post method, post or get. Post is more secure, allows data to be posted from a website or from a database in a way that is transparent, right? It doesn't reveal what information is being, passed back and forth, right? It's also part of HTTP, HTTPS. All right. Okay. Cookies are things that are embedded in browsers that you might know about as a security person or as an IT person, IT help desk, right? What's cookies? Angel, what are cookies? Besides the ones we talk about in Sesame Street.
Cookies a way to kind of store your authentication. I mean, I could read it from there, but I was saying my own version. So let's say you went to a page before, it will show your information. It can store it so that you don't have to put the same information again.
Yeah, so for example, I have an Amazon account, right? So when every time I go to Amazon, it just takes me straight into my account. I don't even have to log in, right? It's like, boom, it just goes right there to all my information. Everything I've done is right there on my computer, okay? That's thanks to cookies that allow you to do some kind of customization. So they're little files on your computer that help to preserve, personalized stuff on websites. Now, sometimes these cookies might cause some security issues, right? You might have to clean out your cookies. So you might have heard that recommendation. Oh, why don't you clean out your cookies, clean out your data, clean out your browser information, because there might be some potential hidden issues there. Now, of course, if you have antivirus, then your antivirus does a great job of notifying you when something is kind of funny, okay? So these are basic security measures that we can all take, right, in protecting what we have and the environment where we work. Because these kind of things are tools that might be used by an attacker to store information. So you go to a website, you're just checking every website, and something is stored on your computer that you don't even know about. Well, there might be some security issues there. Okay, so most of what you guys did in your field exercise was social engineering, using persuasion, intimidation. Well, hopefully you didn't have to intimidate anything, right? Because you're not dealing with actual people. But the guys who do this, with a negative intention in mind, they use all this kinds of tactics. They can blackmail somebody. They find a bank executive in a compromising position with a woman, right? They can use that information to get this guy to do things for them, right? So security is not just, computers and software and stuff like that. It's knowing, sometimes the psychology of crooks and being able to advise your people, right, on how to approach things, work, life. What kind of information you share when you're in a public place? That's part of security. Okay? What kind of people you associate yourself with? That's part of security. Okay? Let's see if there's something here in the book that we can look at. I think we can just wrap this up now and go and look at what you guys have done. And we can just maybe conclude on some of the other information tomorrow. All right, so Angel, since we have you, let's go to your screen and show us what your field exercise was like.
All right, let me just pull it up. I think it's this one. Okay, share my screen. Whoops. Share. This will stop. Yep. Assignment 3. There we go.
Okay, so tell us about it. What did you find, and how much information were you able to extract?
So I just looked up tech companies, Boston tech companies, just random. I like technology, so I mean, I'm in this major, right? So I chose.
Surprise, surprise, right? You like technology.
Oh yeah. So I picked
right.
one of the first ones I saw. I was like, oh, Boston Technology Corporation, haven't heard of it. Very random for me. So I started looking up the information. I got the address. It was available right there on Google Maps. You can see how to get there, directions, and then so the website itself also gave me more information, right? So it gave me the phone number, contact info on the contact page. And then this company has it works with healthcare organizations. So they had a lot of products related to data and their platform helps to kind of make a bridge between healthcare data and health research. So a lot of everything health related. So that's the products and services they provide. And then I got, contact information, their main email account if you want more information, phone number.
Okay, stop.
Yep.
Let's go to what information that you found that is potentially useful, should I say, in carrying out a major attack against this company, right? Now, phone number, those are things that should I say, you expect to find. Now, what else? How did you use this information to maybe go deeper and get something that was just not so obvious? Did you take that extra step?
Let me see.
You know what I mean? Taking some information that you find and then going a bit deeper to say, well, so I found this publicly available information, and then I had to use my skills and go deeper, take that information, go to this particular site, go to this site, go to this site, extract some more in a certain way, and now I have something to really work with against this company. Anything like that?
I mean, I would say like their LinkedIn would link people, like people in the organization that you could possibly socially engineer. And I did include that that part of it. I didn't include specific people. Maybe I was a little too narrow in terms of answering the questions, but I know, if you want to, usually with an attack, right, you want more information. A lot of it has to do with weak links, and if you can find information from someone and possibly maybe message them, call them if possible.
All right. So my question is from what you did with the mindset of an attacker, right? Imagine I was paying you, right, to get me this information. Do you feel like you're delivering stuff to me that I can use? You know what I mean?
For an attack, not a really strong attack, no. Like there's a lot of it.
Well,
it's a lot of useful information that you could maybe get a clue, but not really something that would be, super specific to, oh, we can attack it from this angle. So that it wasn't.
Okay, well, that was one of the goals, right, of what we're trying to do, is go as do as much as you can to get information that can be useful in carrying out an attack, right?
I think I did a better job with the other one.
Okay, all right, let's go to the other one.
So that was a person. I searched for just a Jewish name, I think it is, Chandler, LinkedIn, and this person popped up, Ron. I think it was Ron S. Chandler. So
is Ron Chandler tied to that company?
Oh, I thought this was just a different type of exercise looking for employees.
Well, I mean, no, I'm just asking. I mean, it could be totally different, but it could be connected.
Yeah, it's different.
So how did you come up with the name of Chandler? You just typed the first name that popped into your head?
I think I seen a Chandler in one of the news things, and I just put his information. It was a random name, random last name.
Okay. All right.
So that, because I was thinking LinkedIn to kind of give me visibility into his socials. So that gave me his Twitter, and then his email, and then some personal information related to his family, which is father, mother, his kids. It was even a what's it called? I think this was on Twitter, information about him. And then it goes deeper into his employee.
So wait a minute. So he has his father's name, his mother's name, his aunt, his wife, and 2 kids
on that one web page. So that, I feel like that's more specific, because now I can, I can tailor an attack, maybe social engineer, and asking one of them, because their names are there. And then his employee history was very specific on LinkedIn. Like it literally the school history, where he's currently working. And this guy apparently is he's a CIO. So this is probably somebody you would want to attack, right?
He's a CIO, right? Wow.
Yeah. And he's CIO, I guess, in like 2 different school organizations. So that's another thing. He works for school. So then you have that information. Harvard Business School is a very prominent place, right? Like it's a prestigious school. So like,
yeah, prestigious.
I feel like this is somebody that is worth the attack, right? Like he must have some money, right? He's on the board of directors, I said, on his LinkedIn. So there's like a lot of information there that, I felt like was more specific compared to the company one that I did.
So question for you. So give me an idea. Okay, you've already said what kind of attack you can carry out, but besides the family name, what else can you say? Well, this information I can tie directly to this other part of this guy's life, and boom, make a connection.
So he's a board director of
What company?
Let me see here. He works as an advisor for 3 companies. I don't think I listed the actual where he's advising.
Okay.
But I mean, I could look it up. Simple email.
No, we don't have time for that right now. Okay, but right here he worked at PwC, right? He worked at PwC. He went to Ross School of Business at University of Michigan, right? So you have enough information even here to do something with, right? Is it his aunt or his mom? You know, can you pose as okay? He worked as general manager of IT in Los Angeles, right? So there's some information you can, if you find somebody, for example, go all the way to that company that he worked as general manager. Who are the employees there currently, right? And you say, look, I represent Ross Chandler, right? I used to work at this company. We're looking to do some kind of a partnership with your company, blah, 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 right?
Yeah, and you could maybe even a phishing. If you pretend to be someone, right? Maybe you could send them a link, right? Or something like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, how did you feel, you know, when you were doing this, getting all this information? I mean, just in your mind, what was going through your mind as you were doing this? Like, were you, in terms of, do you feel like you were doing a positive thing? Were you like, oh man, this is like disgusting? What were your emotions like?
I mean, I kind of felt like I was like stalking him in a sense, right? Like stalking his presence. I mean, to see his whole school history, it's like I'm like looking into someone's life, right? And this particular person, and I'm sure there's plenty if you just look through LinkedIn, right? You could probably go through a lot of their information, and I feel like, you know, a lot of this, you would like people that know him might not even know some of this, right? So I felt like, you know, I felt like I was a stalker in a way.
Yeah.
It did feel a little weird.
Well, that's what we said last week, right? About the mindset, right? The mindset of people who do stuff like this, social engineering, identity theft, and things like that. Their mindset, you know, they don't think the way you're thinking. Now, I'm glad you're thinking that. I'm glad you have those feelings, right? I mean, it tells you, you know, it tells us, you know, what, you know, where things start with you. What? It tells us where things start with you, which is good. But these guys, or these people who perpetrate this kind of activities, that's what they do. So you can imagine that you just went on the surface. They go real deep, and they put their plan into action, right? So if you find yourself in a job like this, it gives you an idea of what you're up against, because you know the potential, right? The potential. You know, in my mind, maybe I'm just totally naive, or, you know, is it normal to have this much information out there from your experience, Angel? Is this normal?
Yeah, I mean, especially
or is this one of the very, like, this is like overboard?
No, I think this is pretty normal, especially with LinkedIn. It gives you a lot of information that you could use, right? Like, imagine like thinking, I wanna rob someone in my area, and then you look up people like this and you see that they're a CIO. I mean, right? And if you can dig deeper and find even their address, now you can start planning ahead. Not saying that I'm doing any of this.
Yep.
But theoretically it's possible, right?
Absolutely. Well, it's I think how do you say that? I think you say that it's a catch-22, right? You put your information out there to expose yourself to potential opportunities, and then they tell you, if you don't put your information out there, how you going to get those opportunities? But then you put it out there, and then you're literally handing the keys, right, to, you know, Potential. Okay. Well, that's good. Let's go to Seraphil. Let's see what you got.
All right. So I did about the Moderna therapeutic because it's just right next to my home here in Cambridge.
Oh, it's right next to your home?
Like 2 blocks away.
So I hear that all the Moderna people became billionaires, right? Thanks to the pandemic. So did it kind of affect you? Did some of that money kind of affect your area? Just kidding.
Okay, so I was able to find most of the information about.
So same question I asked Angel, right? So we can just get into that. Give us information that we can use in an attack.
I think in terms of like launching an attack against the company, I pretty much found like information, not like very valuable information to launch an attack against the company, but in terms of like employee, but I was able to find a lot of detailed information.
All right, so sure, so let's see that.
So this is the company. I found the phone number, fax, or this everything is like on the company website and the company LinkedIn website. The primary contact also, I found the web right here.
What information did you find that we can use in an attack? I don't want you guys to just tell us, this is like general information, right? You're going to find that on the website. So what are the, what are the juicy things you found? Some other information that, is a little bit deeper that the average person can't find, from your skills and your research. That's what we want to, tell us that.
Okay, let me go to
either on this part or on the individual part.
Okay, let me go to the individual part because the people I did research on the same the employee worked in the same company. So it's the director of manufacturing at Moderna, and I found his name, address, where he lived before, and his family information, his phone number.
How did you find that information about where he lives before?
Okay, I did use a white page. The tools that I use are white page and Truth Finder and Spokio. Those are like this. They are pretty much the same. They are like the same as white page. This too, especially the Finder is good. So whatever information you have about the person, you just, if you have like the person's name, you just put it in, and then it will give you more information about that person. In the like if there is.
So it tells you where they live currently and where they used to live before.
So they used to live in South Boston. 1 second, let me just see. Age 45, the person. Address 6 Bristol Pond Drive, Norfolk. And their own single house family. I was able to see.
Okay, wait a minute. How is it? What does it? This website, do they usually tell you what the person owns?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Find everything. This is actually like I was able to see like in his social media account, like Facebook. I was able to see his wife, kids, and everything, and his relatives, even family information too. It was very detailed information. So.
All right. Well, show us that information that you found. You got to. I hope you documented the kind of things you found.
Okay. So this is his personal information.
Yeah.
He has lived in Arlington and Boston and South Boston. Position.
Okay. You said you found information about his family.
Yes. So relatives, employee, friends and relatives. This is I was able to find his wife's name. I found it on Facebook.
Well, this guy's who is Elizabeth Cross, Matthew Barrows, Gail Barrows. Who are these people?
I believe it says people related to his name. That's what it says. But this one and his kids was on Facebook and on Twitter too. He has a Twitter.
Okay, it tells you you found out about where this person is from, like their hometown.
Yes, New York. He's from New York.
Yeah, it's at the bottom. You scroll down. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, so originally from New York, it says this is all his information is on LinkedIn, work history and what school he went to. It was on LinkedIn, but I couldn't find his high school information. Other than that, I was able to find everything.
Social habits.
Yeah, I could. Social habits. This is everything. His picture and family picture. Everything is on Facebook. Like
the pictures are there, right?
Yes. So he's a fan of like Boston sports, like the Celtics and stuff. So he has a lot of.
So give us an idea of something that you can do with all this information.
You can do a lot.
Give us an idea.
You can do.
Yeah, just give us one.
If you are a social engineering, yeah, like if you want to social engineer this person, you pretty much have like enough information. You can email.
Give us an example.
Email. You can do like a phishing email. You can send a phishing email to this person.
What's going to be in the email?
Well, you wanna attach whatever you wanna attach, like whatever information you wanna get from the person.
Like what? Like what? Give me specifics. Who is the email going to be from?
For example, like if you wanna know like maybe more about the company, maybe you can attach some script. And
who is the email? You see, you're not being very specific here. You have all this information, which is fantastic. Now, how do you carry out an attack with your information? You have to take some parts of your some pieces of information and say, okay, here is an attack I can launch. Maybe that's going to be the next thing you guys do. Is based on the information you have found, you come up with an attack. I'm not saying we're going to actually do anything, but you're going to come up with a potential attack based on the information you found, right? Okay. And then we're going to discuss it in class.
Okay,
right? So I'm not saying you're going to do something and send email, no. But you're going to craft something based on everything you found. You just come up with your own idea. Okay, the information about his hometown, I can take that, and then he has a single-family house. Here's something I can craft. You understand?
Yeah. For example, you can make a phone call and impersonate that you're from the company that he's working from and get more information about the company.
How will you do that?
That
you just call the company and say you're who?
No, I mean using the social engineering technique, of course.
Anyway, I'm going to need if we do that, if we should I say expand the exercise, then I'm going to need you guys to add more detail. The detail will be, okay, here's all the information I found, and here is something I can do with it, like an actual plan of attack based on what you found. Okay? So it's like the next step. But let's go to somebody else here and see what you guys got. Francine, Mr. Lin, are you there?
Yeah, I was here. Do I need to
let's see what you got.
Okay. Let me share my screen. Can you guys see the all information?
Can you make the page a little bit bigger? Like increase the at the bottom of your okay, that's it. Yep, that's good. Okay, tell us what you found.
There was first they all was the general information for like we see the
Amazon. About what company?
Amazon, just like everyone knows.
Okay, well, well, before you start about Amazon, right? I'm going to tell you that this is a very difficult target.
Yeah.
Now
I
you're going to
know.
convince. Hang on. You're going to convince us that you found something that we couldn't find, but it's a very difficult target because, you know, it's too much stress when you're going for such a huge company, right? There's
Yeah.
so much. It's too large a company, right? It's like if you're let's say you're a thief, right? I mean, just an example, right? Somebody's a thief, and the first thing they think about is, I'm going to break into the White House, right? It's like, what?
Right.
Why don't you break into a convenience store on your street first, right? You know what I mean?
I know.
So I'm
So
not saying you can break into. I'm not saying you're going to break into anything, right?
yeah.
But this looks too complex. But tell us what you found that we can use.
Yeah, those why it's so hard to find them. The first thing I trying to find the first company information is very general. You can search for the online, so there's not big not a more important problem. So first thing I have find is like when I trying to find like Amazon people's the name on the email, and I can't find it. So I trying to connect the constant service people. But I first they didn't have the name because I say I have some orders have problem, and they email me.
Wait, stop.
Okay.
You said you made contact with customer service?
No, I imagine I trying to connect them, and because because my email also have the all the time I have report I have all the problem, but I find it didn't.
Stop.
Okay.
You emailed customer service to ask them about this stuff?
No. I mean, I trying to find the Amazon workers people's the name and the email because I trying to send the phishing email like something, but I can't find the name. So I try to another way to find the workers name. Like I find the Instagram.
So what other way did you try? I thought you said you emailed the customer service people to ask information.
Yeah, because every like for the another company, if I say I have the order problem, they will be send they cost the service people will be send an email for me. But sometimes they use the personal email, right? But this time I search for the Amazon, they like the cost service send me the email is like the Amazon 231 cost service people's email. So I say I fail for this part, so I can find the workers name. So I tried for the another way for find the Instagram and Facebook, and there was what I found the workers name.
So wait a minute, Lane. Are you saying that of all the companies in the world, right? There's no other company except Amazon that was your choice for this project. I mean, it's totally up to you, but I'm just thinking there's got to be a lot of companies out there, right?
Yes.
So why did you just stick with Amazon, which is just everybody knows about Amazon, right?
Yeah, I know.
Why didn't you try to be more unique?
Because
anyway, continue.
Okay.
Just keep going.
Yeah, because when I see this project and I see like I want more money for I want to find some more big company can get some more money. So that was why I choose the Amazon.
So
that's why
big
people
company
thinking,
can give you big money.
Yeah.
Okay, I see your point.
Yeah, because there was why, but why when I try, I find oh my god, that was so fucking hard. Because they like so many.
Don't. You're not allowed to swear or curse in class.
Oh, okay. So sorry. So sorry about that.
Okay, go ahead. So who is Brody Phoenix? Who is Brody Phoenix?
She was the Amazon worker, and I found her was the Instagram because I don't know how to find the Amazon worker's name, so I was typing for the Instagram for the title Amazon worker day living, and I found her was he loved to send a picture for her working in the Amazon, and that was why I first time I say and I can see she have the daughter, and she was not married. I don't know why, and she living alone. But I don't like to find the more personal information because I feel it's like so weird, you know. Because I see her everyday picture, and I can know what she college for right now, and I know she was leaving, and I know where her just like work the address.
Okay, listen.
I don't know how to do it.
Listen.
Okay.
Yeah, you see, this is a field exercise. I know that when you're doing it, you feel like you're doing something bad.
Yeah.
And it is something bad. And if you know that this is bad, then when you get this kind of a job in the future, you know you have the mindset of an attacker's mindset. Right? Okay. Normal people don't do stuff like this. Normal people don't do stuff like this. People who do this, right, they want to hurt somebody else. Right? They want to hurt somebody else. So it's a field exercise. You're supposed to fill out every single thing for this exercise.
Yeah, I got it.
You're supposed to complete all the information. That is part of what we're trying to train you guys on and expose you to.
So sorry, Bob.
So I know you're feeling funny, like, oh, this doesn't feel right. I'm going to stop right now. Well, you're not going to get the grade because you didn't complete the work. So you got to complete the work. I can give you an extension, but you got to fill the details that you found. We're not going to do anything with it. We're not going to take it and go and attack the person. Absolutely not. But it's part of the exercise.
I got it.
Because you're learning from it, right? Like we said, when you find the information, you are not to use that information against the person. We've said that many times here, right?
Okay.
This is for this class so we can all learn. So if your information is not complete, you absolutely have to complete that information. You can't just say, I found only 2 things, and I didn't like what I was doing, so I stopped.
Okay, I can finish. I can resend it again because I know that all information because it's so easy to get it. And but for what I can do for her, just like I can send her a phishing email because for her Instagram, I see her email address and where her living, and I can send some because I know her was kindly, you know, because she have a doctor and I will say just like a phishing email like can you just donate some to help some poor people, and so like use his company and something like that, use his company, and obviously we want to thank you for your share your like the love your company, and can you just give me your email address or some information?
Okay, well, when we get to that point where we want to extend the exercise, then you guys will have the opportunity to do that. Okay.
Okay.
But right now we want information. Okay. All right. Let's do one more. Let's go to one more person, and then we can wrap this up, and then we'll continue tomorrow with the rest of you guys. Wilderson, let's see what you got.
Here you go. Here you go. Sorry. Let's see what I have here. I think maybe okay.
So first question for you, Wilderson, is did you get in trouble while doing this project?
No, the only thing was I forgot. I went on the guy Facebook, and the next day I was checking my Facebook. It was still on his Facebook page. So I was like, I felt some type of. So I was checking his Facebook to get some information.
Whose Facebook? What are you talking about? Whose Facebook?
Talk about you see how the project has 2 parts. One, you have.
I don't know what you're talking about. You have to explain to us what you're doing. I mean, you're just saying you went to his Facebook. Who?
Oh no, you asked me a question. I was answering the question.
Yeah, I said, did you get into trouble while doing this project? I don't know what your project is about. I just asked you a random question.
No, I didn't get in trouble, but it was like,
okay, so
I was feeling like a stalker. being on somebody's
Yeah,
Facebook.
that's you're supposed to feel like a stalker. If you told me you were perfectly okay while doing this, then we might have a problem. Like, oh, I enjoyed this. This was like fantastic. I was having a blast. Then we will know we have a problem. We might have to investigate you a little bit more. Maybe call the police. So you guys need to go and check that guy out.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us what you have quickly.
So I did mine
What company is this?
Netflix.
Netflix.
And,
Okay, another big company. All right.
Yeah, I was able to get most of the information, and the only thing I think you concerned about, how could I use that information for an attack, right?
Yeah. What kind of information did you get that you feel that is unique?
One thing is like they said the best way it's easy to hack like users' account using Internet Explorer, but I didn't go deep like to find the steps. But
I don't know what you mean. What information did you find here that is that is unique, like all your classmates have said? Is there anything that you found here that you feel like you can use to do something?
Yes, I said it's easy to hack users' accounts to steal their informations, their credit cards informations, and other personal data.
What do you mean it's easy? I don't understand what you mean.
That means that the company, they've been hacked so many times. They always like suggesting people to make sure they always sign out. Yeah.
What information did you find for this attack? Did you find the users' information, their names, their emails, and all that stuff?
No. I didn't do anything for the users, but I have learned that.
Yes. So what do you mean that it's easy to hack into the user's account? What does that mean?
That's what I've learned doing this.
How did you learn that? Did you try to hack and then you hacked somebody successfully?
No, I didn't try because I don't think I had to do this. But in case if we have the next step for the project, I think that could be like a part of it.
Yeah, but what does that mean? It's easy to hack into the account. What does that mean?
So, like I said, from what I've learned, it said they said users always get hacked. So basically, Netflix is not like quite safe, like for you to keep your personal information there. And then they suggest for you to always sign out, like completely sign out.
Who's they? You keep saying they. Who's they? Who?
Oh, I mean, like the people who shared their information.
Well, listen. You're not talking about your project. You're talking about something totally different. What did you find from this research? Personally, did you find on this job that you did that you can use in an attack? Not what somebody said they can do or something published on some news article.
Okay. So the best way to answer that question, I think, is using the people, like the person's information. Like for the person that I chose, I didn't get like a personal information from him, but I have his sisters.
Who is this person? Who is the person you chose?
His name is Ahmed Hamid.
Who is Ahmed?
Hamid Hamid, he works in the IT. This is all the information I have about him.
He works where?
He works as a desk support technician at Smart Source.
What does this have to do with Netflix? What does this person have to do with Netflix?
No, what I'm saying is, I thought the one that I said, you said it doesn't like quite related with the question you asked me. I said, so I think if I choose the person that I like, Ahmed, so I could answer your question.
So there's nothing in it. You found nothing from Netflix that we can use, basically, right?
So, like I said that, you said it's not right. I said I found how like the vulnerabilities, how easy for. Can you take it? Hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So you said it's not the right answer for this.
Yeah, because you're not proving anything you're saying. You're just saying it. There's no proof of what you're saying. If you say it's easy to break in there, well, did you find information to prove that, oh, look at all the information I found. It's easy to break into this guy's. Did you find their email account? Did you find their personal information about the Netflix people?
So the reason why I didn't go that far is because I thought we were gonna have like a second part of the project where I would have to present how I could like try to break in and get users' information.
Well, listen, it doesn't appear like you focused on what we're supposed to do. Let's go to that Amin Ahmed. How did you find that? I mean, why did you choose that person?
Oh, I found him on LinkedIn.
Yeah, why? How did you come up with the name?
It was just random, and I was like, let
You
me
just typed in. I mean, you just typed in Amin Ahmed and found somebody there.
I didn't type in his name. I like, you see how when you're on LinkedIn, like somebody just pop up on your page and stuff, and then I just picked that person.
Okay, so let's see what you found about this person.
So I have all his work history, and I have some information about his like relatives and his habit. And
What is the work history?
so he works at like currently he's working at desk as a desktop support technician at Smart Source, and he used to work at let's see, hold on 1 second, I have a few places. Yeah, he graduated, and then I have a few things where I used to. Uh, community college. I lived with the company for 3 months.
What is the work history that you're looking for?
Oh, I was
Where is
looking
it?
for more. I was looking for more than what I have listed here, which is his current work. And
Who are the relatives that you found?
I found his sister.
Who is Susie Aden? Aiden.
Yeah, that's both of his sisters.
How do you get that information?
I got it from Facebook.
Okay. Went to Bunker Hill Community College?
Yes, and then he worked there as a tutor. It helps kids with
So
math.
you said this person is very religious. What do you mean very religious?
Because most when I was going through his Facebook like posts and stuff, he was like talking more about like religion, Muslim religious.
So he is religious or very religious? Because that's two different things. If you're saying somebody is very religious, are you saying that from what you found, they're almost like extremists?
Yeah. I don't know what you mean.
Just very no. Based on what you wrote here, when you say somebody is very religious, I mean somebody can be religious, they love their religion and they talk about it. But when you say very religious, you're saying they do more than the average religious person.
Because I seen all his posts was about the same thing, just about like Allah is coming, that all this, how much he believes in his God and stuff like that. So what I thought
So
of.
there was a lot of religious information in the post, right?
Yeah, yes, exactly. So that's what
Okay,
most of.
employee speech and speaking patterns. What's that?
Oh, Egyptian, Arabic, and Somalian and English. So that's his like main languages. So that's what I put in there.
Okay. All right. What else did you get? So, from what you have so far, what can you do with that information?
So for this, I can like I said, I don't have his direct contact. I can like not email, write a message to his sister and say that I used to go to school with him and give them some of the information that I have. So to get his email or at least his phone number.
Well, you have to, when you find a contact, you have to, I mean, when you find an individual, you have to find their contact. How are you going to make contact with them if you don't have their contact? Or you have to have somebody's contact that can reach out to them, right?
I mean, I can reach out to him on Facebook, but I didn't want to, you said it shouldn't be any contact with the person. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So that's why I didn't write him and ask him that question.
Okay.
But I know if I need that question without him knowing, I could contact his sister or somebody who knows him and say pretend it.
Well, we're not making contact with anybody, right?
Yeah, I understand.
The next phase of the project will be based on what you found, right? To come up with a potential scenario of an attack based on what you found. Okay, I found all this information. Here is what I can do. I can use this part and this part and this part to do X, Y, Z. You understand?
Yes.
All right. So you said how did you feel when you were getting all this information?
Yeah, like I was saying, I felt like a stalker being on somebody's Facebook for so long, and you have to make sure you don't like a post, you don't do anything, and make sure you're doing what you were supposed to do.
So you feel like people do stuff like this? What you did, people do this. I mean, for real, people do stuff like this, right?
You know what? I even thought about myself. I'm like, maybe somebody's out there doing the same thing on my, Facebook page or LinkedIn and looking for information about me.
Well, that's the point of what we're trying to do. If you have that mindset, then maybe you know how to, protect your information, or what kind of information you want to have out there, what kind of information you want to withhold for your employees, for yourself, for your family. So do you think this was helpful so far?
Yeah, it was definitely.
Okay. All right, well, we're going to continue tomorrow with the rest of you guys who haven't had time to present. We'll finish that up tomorrow, okay? Okay, let's do the attendance. If you have any questions for me, let me know. If you don't, let's just do the attendance. And we can finish up tomorrow.
I have a question, Professor.
Sure. Yeah.
I didn't see.
You sent me an email yesterday, right? Didn't you send me an email?
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out, just in case, there wasn't a discussion thing. I mean, we did the discussion, but I didn't see the actual, where you turn it in, the screenshots.
Oh yeah. I got to put that up there. Yeah. That kind of slipped I should have put that up there. Yeah. But your other question was about Cengage,
module
right?
4. I didn't see a deadline on it. I wasn't sure. You didn't mention it, so I wasn't sure if it was something.
One of your classmates had asked the question, is that all we have to do for the week? And I think I said, do you want more work? Right? So, yeah, that was all we had for the week. When we're done tomorrow, then we'll go into the modules and the weekly assignments. But this was, I mean, how long did it take you to get this done? No, but how long did it take you to get this done? 10 minutes?
At least an hour. No, it took to write it up and everything. I didn't copy and paste. I wrote it out.
Yeah.
It took a good hour and a half.
So we're going to expand the project, but when we're done tomorrow, we'll talk about that. Maybe now or maybe later. but there was no other assignment. But the discussions are every week, right? So you want to get it in, and when it's time to turn in, then you can easily turn it in. So don't, every week it is required to do your discussions with your group, right? Okay, do you have the attendance?
I think you posted the attendance last time.